Hey there, Taki Moore here, and in this video, we're going to show you how to streamline your onboarding and get your new clients winning faster. We call it the new client Onramp, and I'm glad you're here. There's a PDF set of worksheets, scripts, templates, and an onboarding designer. If you want to get a copy of that, then just comment, hit me below, and I'll get you a copy. It's got all the models that we're going to use and the scripts for welcome videos, all of the stuff. So again, if you want that, comment, hit me below. So here's why this matters so much. If you don't have a new client Onramp in place, then what happens, first of all, is your clients get overwhelmed. They jump into your world, there's lots going on, and they don't know what to do first, second, third. There's lots of shiny objects, lots of distraction, and distraction is the enemy of getting shit done and winning. Because of that, they get distracted. And one of the ways that in the old days, we used to try to solve this is have a one-on-one game plan kind of strategy call with every person and give them a custom plan one-on-one for them. That was awesome, except that game planning a bunch of new clients, if your business is growing the way it could be, becomes a real bottleneck. If you've got you doing the game plans or even a coach doing the game plans, and if the business is kind of dependent on you and your time, then it gets to the point where like, I want to grow my business, but I don't want to do the hard work associated with growing my business, and you start to resent growing. And if you resent growing, or even a part of you associates growing my business with pain, you just won't grow your business. And so that's a real challenge. If you want to do this right, here's what happens. Instead of overwhelming your clients, you get the whelm just right. They're not underwhelmed, they're not overwhelmed. You get to Goldilocks this sucker and get the whelm just right. Number two, they focus and they accelerate. They've got a single path, a simple place to go. They know exactly what to do, and they can build momentum instead of getting overwhelmed with all and distracted with all the stuff. You streamline momentum. And so instead of game plans or one-on-one kind of strategy calls or whatever you call them, I don't mean the sales call, I mean the thing that you do when a new client first joins you. Instead of that becoming a bottleneck, you can streamline momentum and you actually build scale-ready onboarding, the ability to deploy a bunch of brand new clients into your world all at once in a way that they love it, they feel seen, they feel taken care of, they feel safe, they know what's coming, they know what's expected of them, and they know what's expected of you. It's a little bit magic. I want to give a shout out. This whole concept came out of a conversation I had with an amazing client in Boardroom. His name's Tony Fraser-Jones. He runs a profitable tradie out of New Zealand. And he had a situation where his head coach was going away on holidays for 3 months. And Tony's either go, well, I either need to find somebody else or I need to do it myself, which is a bottleneck. Like finding somebody else and getting them up to speed quickly is tricky. Doing it myself is a pain. Is there a faster way? And we're like, well, what about group onboarding? And so we kind of sat down and we sketched out a bit of an idea about how group onboarding could go. And he did it, and it worked amazing. In fact, it didn't just work amazing, it worked better than the one-on-one boarding they used to do. We started doing it ourselves, and it's been an absolute game changer for us. So I'm just curious, where does your onboarding need work? What are the clunky points for you? It's either it's too messy, people slip through the cracks, it's very labor intensive, people leave unclear. There's usually some kind of problem to solve. And so I want to give you 5 keys right now for doing it well. Number 1, your job in onboarding is to put your clients' blinkers on, to give them one pathway to follow and not let them get distracted with shiny things left and right. Is to lay out, this is the simple pathway. Number 2, this process is really about moving slow so we can move fast. It's like an archer slowly pulls back the bow so that you can release the arrow and it flies true and fast. In your onboarding, we want to be like that. We want to slow people down a little bit, get them clear and aimed and focused so they can accelerate and get quick wins. In our world, our internal performance standard is people pay off their whole year in black belt in the first 30 or 60 days. We had 50% of our clients pay for their whole year of black belt in their first 2 weeks in our last intake. And it's because we focus and we move slow to move fast. So big idea number 3 is to drive demand. What often happens is we go, okay, well, let me teach you everything you need to know to get started. And we give people all the theory, all the head stuff, the mindset stuff they need, the big picture strategy, and it's really boring. And so what we want to do instead is we want to drive demand. They say that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's a complete lie. Soul cubes. And so what we want to do is we want to soul cubes your content. So I want to tell you about a great friend of mine, Josh McKitterick. We jam on content all the time. Josh is an amazing trainer, and he got asked to teach a barista school. And so he sat in on the class in the morning and watched how it was done. And then he was going to run the afternoon with some tweaks. What happened in the first class that he sat in on was they get everyone together, this kind of bunch of keen dudes, kids, and they teach them about coffee and the history of coffee and the geography of coffee and the 3 main types of coffee and where it comes from and the different kind of roasts and the different blends and the coffee manufacturing process. And that's all cool. It's good to know, but it's the wrong stuff at the wrong time. And then later, by the end of the day, they start making coffees, and that's cool. But just like, hey, would it be okay if I tweak the format a little bit? And the guy goes, yeah, no worries. Be my guest. That's why you're here. So Josh gets the afternoon crew in and he goes, oh, everyone gather around, and they're all watching him around the espresso machine, and he pours a great shot, steams his milk, and he pours the perfect latte art. And they're like, wow. And he goes, now it's your turn. And within the first 5 minutes, this new group of kids, this new cohort, had all made a shot, steamed some milk, and made great latte art. They're all taking photos and posting it up on the gram of what they've done already. And guess what? Now they want to learn. They want to learn coffee. They're cool to learn the history and the theory and the geography and the science, because he started with a magic trick. And the magic trick for Josh was how to make the perfect latte art. So in your coaching program, you want to start with a magic trick, something that takes like 5 minutes to learn, 10 or 15 minutes to do or less, that gives them an immediate quick result. In our kickoff call, there's a quick win strategy. 2 days later, in the game plan where we're working out everyone's right next thing, there's a quick win strategy. The next week when we check in on their velocity at the velocity call, there's a quick win. There's 3 magic tricks in the first 10 days, all designed to put money in your account, get you leads, free up time. We start with magic tricks. It's really important. Number 4, accelerate with a light touch. Often we cram everything we know into our first week, first month, first quarter with our new clients. And it's a mistake because we bog people down. Porsche, they had this slogan, which was in German, but it translates to for speed, add lightness. And so what you want to do is, the way you get people to move quickly is you pull most of the crap out of your onboarding and move it to later on. You just got to rip things out. Anything that, like, you just want to go, hey, in my first 30 or 60 or 90 days, what's the outcome I want for them? For us, we want to have them pay for the whole year of black belt. Cool. So now we know the outcome. What do we need to put in the program to make that happen? And then we do a logic check. Hey, if they do these things, will they get the outcome, or is there something missing? Oh, no, there's something missing. Let's put that in. Next, is it possible to get the outcome without this bit? Yes. Okay, well, let's pull that out. And so we're reverse engineering from outcome to process, and then we're removing as many steps as we can. The onboarding process has as many steps as needed and as few as possible. 5th, our job is to launch their next mission. After the onboarding process, we want to get people really clear. In our world, we call it the RNT, the right next thing. What's their right next mission for you? What's the next 6 weeks worth of work? And we just want to get them focused on that one thing. So again, we can have our tunnel vision blinders on, but we're doing something that's going to take us off. Does that make sense? So I don't know how this is different to how you do things right now, but when we switched to this model, clients got wins faster. They were clearer. They won fast instead of getting confused. And frankly, we saved 70 hours a month of one-on-one coaching time. 70 hours a month of one-on-one coaching time. Ridiculous. If we were to map this out into the workbook, I'm just going to give you a couple of these. The rest are in the book, and you can just download it by saying "hit me" in the comments. What typically happens is we get a new client and we do a strategy thing with them, and they get going, and then we get another new client and we have to onboard them, and they get going. And so there's this like stop start. We never get a chance to work on our business because we're always like manually onboarding people and getting them started. And guess what happens? By the time you get to like here, the dude who started here has finished their thing and they need more one-on-one help. And so our model goes like this. Group onboarding, curriculum designed. We call it an Onramp. And then guess what happens? A whole cohort of people starts winning and moving. Takes us 90 minutes every 2 weeks to onboard a cohort and get them crushing. Like I said, 50% of them made their whole year's worth of money in the first 2 weeks. Why? Because we've streamlined the process. They're only working on the right things. And the thing is engineered to go fast. Does that make sense? So here's a little piece of homework for you. If you think about the timeline that your clients work with you, if this is them today on day 1, just joined you, they've probably joined your big program to get some kind of big outcome up here. For us, it's get to $1 million a year. That's what we do in Black Belt every single day. Like literal, well, every week somebody hits $1 million a year. Okay, so that's where we want to be in a year. What the traditional approach is, let's bog people down and give them all the theory and all the systems and all the foundations, and the energy just drops. So what I want you to do instead is go, hey, where do I want people to be inside 30, 60, 90 days? What's the outcome? What's the result? Okay, and imagine we're going to design this like it's a course, like a standalone course, our onboarding, our hero program, our onboarding. So the first question is, what's my outcome? What's the result I want to help people create in that short period of time? Step 2, what are all the steps, actions they could take to make that happen? And we're going to make a big fat list. Then we're going to put them into sequence. Then we're going to do the logic check. If we got rid of this one, could we still get the outcome? If we got rid of that one, could we still get the outcome? And you're going to have a really clean, simple, step-by-step process to get people onboarded. In this PDF, you've also got a way to design out your first 3 months. Like, what do they need to do? Designing a magic trick. What our onboarding process looks like. How to get your salespeople to give you the information you need as a coach to be able to help a new client win if you haven't met them yet, if somebody else is doing the selling. The welcome video, the slides from our kickoff call, overview of the kickoff call, etc. So again, if you want a copy of this, just type hit me below and I'll send it along. Lots of love from me. May your onboarding be good onboarding. Can you pull some stuff out to make your clients go faster and help you scale your business instead of getting bogged down in one-on-one calls? Lots of love. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.